Good day, teachers, and welcome to your homework for accent training. Before we start, let's discuss about the objectives. Teachers in this training will know the meaning of IPA and its importance for proper pronunciation when speaking the English language. Secondly, we'll discuss the difference in sound and mouth formation for both consonant and vowel sounds. Lastly, teachers will be able to say proper pronunciation of basic English words. Today's topic will focus more on Module 1 and Module 2. By the way, teachers, most of the videos shown here are from the following websites and YouTube channels. Rachel'sEnglish.com, focusing more on American English, and English Pronunciation Roadmap, focusing more on British English. Other references will be shown at the end of this video. Please wear your headsets and let's begin with Module 1. Accent versus pronunciation. Let's first check their meaning in the dictionary. Accent, according to Cambridge, means the way in which people in a particular area, country, or social group pronounce words, whereas pronunciation means how words are pronounced. By definition, they are different. Accent would depend on your exposure to English language. When it comes to ESL teaching, your best option as a teacher is the one you're most comfortable with, be it British or American English. Pronunciation, by definition itself, is how words are pronounced correctly. You may have noticed in the dictionary that there are options UK and US. This is because American English and British English are the most frequently learned kinds of English in the world. So what's the difference?
Hello and welcome everyone, this is Minu at AngloLink. Today we're going to look at some differences in American English and British English pronunciation. In order to do that, I've teamed up with my American colleague Rachel, who is going to introduce herself to you now.
I'm Rachel and I have a YouTube channel called Rachel's English. My channel focuses on American English pronunciation. There are videos that go over the specific mouth position for each sound, videos that focus on the rhythm of American English, linking, and videos that show you how to listen for the characteristics of American English. There are over 250 videos with 2 added each week. I hope you'll check them out.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, I will be focusing on the differences between consonants R and T, and also some very common words that are pronounced differently in American English and British English. Rachel will be focusing on the differences between some vowel sounds. Let's start with the letter R. When the letter R is in the initial position of a word or in the middle of a word, there isn't a huge difference between the way Americans or British people pronounce it. However, listen to me saying the following 4 words and then listen to Rachel saying them. Rain,
Rain,
drain,
drain,
spring,
spring,
berry.
berry,
Now, when the letter R is in the middle position, in a monosyllabic word and after a vowel, in British English we tend to drop it. We also drop the letter R at the end of words in British English, whereas in American English there is no difference. Now I'd like you to listen to me say the following words and then listen to Rachel saying the same word immediately. Birth,
birth,
turn,
turn,
learn,
learn,
work,
work,
germ,
germ,
farm,
farm,
other,
other,
clever,
clever,
director.
director.
Right then, let's move on to letter T. In standard British English, the letter T is always pronounced as a T. Whether it is at the beginning of a word, in the middle of a word, or at the end of a word. Whether it's a stressed syllable or unstressed syllable. For example, listen to these 4 words. Table, attain, what, cut. However, in American English, they tend to drop the T in the final position. So now listen to Rachel saying these 4 words.
Table, attain, what, cut.
Now listen to her saying the words what and cut again. What, cut.
cut,
Now in American English, when the letter T is in the middle position in a word, it sometimes changes to a soft D. This happens either when it's between 2 vowels or when it's between an R and a vowel. So now listen to how I pronounce the following words and immediately to how Rachel pronounces them. Saturday,
Saturday,
waiter,
waiter,
matter,
matter,
atta,
atta,
what about,
what about,
party,
party,
sort of,
sort of,
part of.
part of,
And finally, in American English, the letter T is sometimes dropped after an N. For example, in British English we would say centre, interview, internet. Now listen to how Rachel pronounces them.
center, interview, internet,
Centre,
center,
interview,
interview,
internet.
internet.
Okay, that's all for the consonants R and T. Now we're going to look at some very common words in English that are pronounced quite differently in British English and American English. So I'm going to say them and then you will listen to how Rachel says them. The letter Z,
The letter Z,
new,
new,
adult,
adult,
brochure,
brochure,
garage,
garage,
address,
address,
laboratory,
laboratory,
route,
route,
advertisement,
advertisement,
controversy,
controversy,
patent,
patent,
apricot,
apricot,
vase,
vase,
hurricane,
hurricane,
enquiry,
inquiry,
leisure,
leisure,
either,
either,
neither.
neither.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this part of the lesson.
What about neutral accent? Neutral accent is considered neutral if they speak in the same accent as yours. For ESL teaching, most teachers opt for American accent because not only is it easier than British, but it is also commonly used in ESL. Personally, you can choose either British or American as long as you can pull it off from start to end. If not, stick to what you currently know and comfortable with. Gaining an accent can't be done overnight. It takes years of exposure and consistent practice. Moving on to proper pronunciation. Why do we need to say words with proper pronunciation? So that listeners can understand what we are saying. And of course, listeners would not need time to understand and figure out what we are saying, like our situation as teachers when listening to students speak. If you have any questions with regards to accent and pronunciation, please do write them down and raise it during the training session. Now let's move on to IPA. This stands for International Phonetic Alphabet. I've encountered a few questions about this. For the first one, why do we need to learn them? This is needed so that there is uniformity to saying out words. When you learn a foreign language, IPA is useful to know how words are properly said. IPA has the same role as alphabets. Alphabets to spelling as IPA to sounds. An article from citr.us posted by Jess Hallett states, The purpose of IPA is to provide a standard set of symbols that are used to represent sounds so that the same symbols always represent the sound, even to people from different language backgrounds. Second question was, what's the purpose of IPA in learning English? The letters in English can have different phonetic sounds or no sounds at all. Therefore, spelling is not a reliable source for pronunciation. That's where IPA comes to place. The third question was, can students understand them? With our Chinese students, yes. IPA is part of the English lessons in school. Most second language learners rely heavily on dictionaries and translators. IPA is present in both. IPA is divided into two parts. We have consonant and vowel sounds. Let's first start with the easy one, consonants. Here is a video from Rachel's English where she shows you proper mouth formation and consonant sounds. Her video helps you familiarize the symbol and how it sounds in different English words. Please watch and practice with a mirror in your hand. Make sure to write down the symbols as it is part of the training assessment.
If you look at the letter T, let's take a look at the letter T. It can be silent, like in the word fasten. It can be pronounced CH, ch, as in the word future. It can be pronounced t, like in the word tap. When paired with the H, it can be th, the unvoiced TH, as in the word thanks. Or it can be v, the voiced TH, as in the word this. The letter T can actually represent various sounds. This is why the International Phonetic Alphabet makes it easier to study the pronunciation of foreign languages. This video focuses on consonants. What is the International Phonetic Alphabet? It's a system of phonetic notation, and I use it a lot on my website and when I teach students. I've also used it a lot when I've studied foreign languages. The IPA is especially handy when studying English because English is not a phonetic language. This means when you see a letter or a group of letters, it will not necessarily be pronounced the same in each word in which it occurs, just as in the example at the beginning of this video. The IPA has a written symbol for each phonetic sound, so this makes it easier to read about and write about pronunciation. As a student of pronunciation, it's important that you become familiar with the symbols that represent the sounds of American English. D. Say that with me. D. This sound is in dime, redo, smiled. T. Say that with me. T. This sound is in washed, untie, tip. V. This sound is in value, of, love. F. This sound is in staff, enough, phone. B. B. This sound is in big, sob, abandon. P. P. This sound is in pan, ship, reapply. G. G. This sound is in gap, exhibit, fog. K. K. This sound is in choir, quiet, back. Th. Th. This sound is in thanks, filthy, with. V. V. This sound is in bother, this, bathe. S. S. This sound is in ice, some, axe. Z. Z. This sound is in lazy, flowers, possess. Shh, shh. This sound is in polish, ocean, issue. Zh, zh. This sound is in beige, vision, azure. Ch, ch. This sound is in chase, march, chapter. J, j. This sound is in joy, grudge, change. This sound is in happy, rehash, high. This sound is in wrong, operate, ear. Y, y. This sound is in yummy, yes, and it often occurs in the U as in few diphthong in words like music. This sound occurs in words like my, mumble, some. This sound occurs in the words nine, no, undo. This sound occurs in the words ring, thanks, anger. Ul. This sound occurs in the words follow, lie, feel. W. This sound occurs in the words quiet, will, one. Great. Familiarizing yourself with these symbols should make it easier to study pronunciation. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English.
Now the more challenging sounds in IPA, the vowel sounds and diphthongs. Diphthongs, by definition, is a vowel sound in which the tongue changes position to produce the sound of two vowels. Here are videos from Rachel's English where she shows you proper mouth formation of vowel sounds and diphthongs. Her video helps you familiarize the symbol and how it sounds in different English words. Please watch and practice with the mirror in your hand. Make sure to write down the symbols as it is part of the training assessment.
Take a look at these letters. They're not always pronounced the same. In the word boo, they have the oo sound. In the word blood, they make the as in butter sound. And in the word book, they make the as in pull sound. This is why the International Phonetic Alphabet makes it easier to study the pronunciation of a foreign language. This video focuses on vowels. What is the International Phonetic Alphabet? It's a system of phonetic notation, and I use it a lot on my website and when I teach students. I've also used it a lot when I've studied foreign languages. The IPA is especially handy when studying English, because English is not a phonetic language. This means when you see a letter or a group of letters, it will not necessarily always be pronounced the same in each word in which it occurs, just as in the example at the beginning of this video. The IPA has a written symbol for each phonetic sound, so this makes it easier to read about and write about pronunciation. As a student of pronunciation, it's important that you become familiar with the symbols that represent the sounds of American English. The ah sound. Say that with me. Ah, ah. This sound occurs in words like father, hot, body. Ah. Say that with me. Ah. This sound occurs in words like law, daughter, caught. Eh. This sound occurs in the words said, head, says. E. This sound occurs in the words heat, be, receive, I. This sound occurs in the words him, bin, women, a. This sound occurs in the words have, bad, act, This sound occurs in the words love, blood, trouble, the schwa. This sound occurs in the words sofa, about, This sound occurs in the words book, could, pull, This sound occurs in the words burn, journey, worth, ooh. This vowel sound occurs in the words through, blue, do.
Ah, eh, e, a, ooh.
Great. Familiarizing yourself with these symbols should make it easier to study pronunciation. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English. Take a look at these letters. They're not always pronounced the same. Take, for example, the word height. Here they are the I as in by diphthong. But in this word, way, they make the A as in say diphthong sound. This is why the International Phonetic Alphabet does make it easier to study pronunciation. This particular video focuses on diphthongs. What is the International Phonetic Alphabet? It's a system of phonetic notation, and I use it a lot on my website and when I teach students. I've also used it a lot when I've studied foreign languages. The IPA is especially handy when studying English, because English is not a phonetic language. This means when you see a letter or a group of letters, it will not necessarily always be pronounced the same in each word in which it occurs, just as in the example at the beginning of this video. The IPA has a written symbol for each phonetic sound, so this makes it easier to read about and write about pronunciation. As a student of pronunciation, it's important that you become familiar with the symbols that represent the sounds of American English. Ow. Say that with me. Ow. This sound occurs in the words town, round, bow. O. Say that with me. O. This sound occurs in the words though, no, show. Oi. Oi. This sound occurs in the words toy, moist, joy. I. This diphthong sound occurs in the words my, height, by. A. This sound occurs in the words fade, made, gauge. You. This sound occurs in the words beauty, union, feud.
Ow,
O, oi, I, A, U.
Great. Familiarizing yourself with these symbols should make it easier to study pronunciation. That's it, and thanks so much for using Rachel's English.
That's it for this module. See you in module 2.